We are very excited to have Mr. Keval Solanki with us. He's a very seasoned professional in the digital construction space, especially building information modeling. He has over 3 years of work experience in different companies, different types of projects, and currently he is working as a digital project manager at Wii Group in Ireland, specializing in 4D BIM services. He has a very impressive background and profile as well because he has, a notable teaching experience in CEPT University as a subject expert, where he did his MTech as well. And the most exciting part is the competitions that he has participated in and has won it as well. He has represented India in the World Skills that happened in 2022 in France, and he was also the gold medal winner in the BIM competition, the construction trade competition that happened in India Skills. Right, so we have ourselves a very exciting professional individual. Please share your journey right from graduation to the companies that you worked in, how you ended up in your current position, what was your initial goal, and how it all fell into place.
Sure. So, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me and that amazing introduction which you gave. And first, congratulations to you on this initiative that is Click to Build podcast. And I think there is a requirement of such initiative to, spread the awareness for this new, fresh professionals which are coming into our industry. So keep up this good work and all the best for that. So yeah, so if I talk about myself, so I am having a background of civil engineering. That is from NIT Surat. I did my civil engineering at 2018. Then I worked into the industry as a site engineer as well as for the design management side. So after that, like I felt like like there is more to the industry than only doing the site work. So there is more into the project management side. Okay, so that is when like it clicked in my mind that I should opt for the masters in the construction management side. So that's when I went to the SEPT University for my masters in construction engineering management. So that is where my journey of the beam started actually, with a deep interest in how technology could transform our industry, like construction project, making them more efficient and collaborative. Okay, so I was also like at the end of this course, I was also awarded as a gold medal and the best thesis award, which was also based on this beam subject. And this excellence award opened the doors for me to being offered a teaching associate role in the SEPT University. So where I was interacting with the students of the construction engineering management, guiding them on the beam side as well as for the lean implementation. Okay, so if I talk about professional journey, so I started my professional journey right after my masters, where I was part of the BMH Consulting uh, company, where I was given the role of beam consultant role. Okay, so there my focus was to do the 3D modeling and more into the 4D beam. Okay, so 4D beam was the part of my initial journey where I started learning the many of the tools when I was part of this company. I after that I also worked for one of the other company, which is the Aston Green, where I started the new department there, that is the beam department. So Aston Greens, they were focusing more into the solar projects. So they wanted to do the digitalization, that is digital construction of the solar projects using some of the various tools into the market. So after that, I like my horizon was expanded to, I made some really good connections using some of the tools like platforms such as LinkedIn. Then I started looking for a good opportunity which will give me not only the national exposure but also the international exposure. So that's when I started looking for the opportunities, and when I came across the V Group. So V Group is the consulting companies both on the planning side, beam side, and the data analytics side. So that's where I started my journey here. Like it's only been 4 months right now in Ireland. So I am currently based in Ireland right now, and here I am looking into the various projects which are in terms of the 4D beam. I'm heading the 4D beam department here, and everything is going really good. There are very good professionals here in Ireland, and the market is really booming here right now. And people in the people in my companies are very nice people. So it was like, for me, it was like a chain of experience which led from one thing to the another, and right now I'm here at this position.
That's amazing. It really feels very exciting to hear all the different changes that you have done in your career, and finally you're working in a very big consulting firm in Ireland. That sounds super exciting. So I wanted to ask a very simple question. We see a lot of definitions and explanations of BIM on the internet, right? Right from very simple ones to very complicated ones, which sometimes we don't even understand what they're trying to say. So I wanted to ask you, how does Keval Solanki define BIM?
Sure. So even if I share my experience, like the first thing when I started learning about the beam was the definition of the beam, and that was using the textbook. And there were so many definition, and all the definitions were like, like complicated to even understand what exactly is the beam. So whenever I just interact with the new young professional, my definition will be like, the beam, that is building information modeling, is a process, okay, for creating the information, managing the information, and using that information for all the construction project, from the concept stage to the facility, that is the project, entire project life cycle. So create, manage, and use. Okay, so information is the key here. So that's what I give the definition to all the young professionals, for them to understand it better.
Awesome, awesome, perfect. I'm sure that would have cleared a lot of doubts in students who are attending. So it's a very important and very key thing that I noticed in your profile was the competitions that you took part in. One was the India skills and then the world skills. So you won the gold medal in India skills, and then you got a chance to represent our country. And you have written a very awesome sentence that I really loved. Best in the nation, one of the best in globe. So I just wanted to ask you, what is this World Skills BIM competition, and how did it actually help your career?
Yeah, so like the world scale is like, you can consider there is a Olympic. Okay, in Olympic there are different sports. So world scale is a Olympic for the skills. Okay, the skills, there are so many skills. There are 50 plus skills, and digital construction, that is the beam, was one of the skill. Like it was introduced for the first time when I was participating. That was in year 2021. Okay, so there are different stages for, to qualify for the world skill. You want to represent India in the world skill, you have to pass the few stages in India first. Okay, so it starts with, from the college level, that is from the district level. There are some competition, there are some quizzes which you have to pass the stage. Then you will be selected for the state level competition. So as I was representing and I was part of Gujarat, so there was a state level competition. Okay, after that, if you are qualifying and if you are in the top two or the top three, that you will be called for the regional level competition. So regional level competition is from the west side, east side zone. So for the four different region, there are different regional competition. So if you are clearing this competition, you will be going up to the national level. So national level is the important competition where you will be, like you will be having an environment which is similar to the world skill competition environment. So mostly what exactly like is part of the syllabus of this competition is, starts with the beam model. Okay, you have to do the beam modeling, basic beam modeling, but the most important thing is the, you have to follow the standards. You have to follow the ISO standards. You have to follow the beam execution plan, which is set out as per the industry international level. Then you have to do the coordination between the models which you are modeling into the Revit software or any other tools. You have to do the coordination. You have to do the collaboration with the different stakeholders using the cloud software like Autodesk Construction Cloud. So overall, it is like the syllabus is covering everything which is part of, the Beam professional, which they are doing into their initial stage. So this world skill has like opened a lot of doors of opportunity. So when I won the national level competition, I got a chance to represent India at the World Skill Competition, which was in France, 2022. So I went to the France. I met very interesting and highly skilled professional, which were coming from the different countries. Like there were 15 different countries around the world. So all of them were the best in their nation. Okay, so I was like privileged. I was like having like good opportunity to compete with them and to learn from them, and also to represent India is a very big thing. So this world skill competition opens a lot of doors of opportunity for me, and certainly it is opportunity for all of you. So if you are like if you are under 25, and if you are part of the if you're starting your career into the BIM industry, it is for you as well.
Now moving on, you mentioned about different code books. You have to follow the guidelines as well. So I had a curious question to ask. What are some of the changes that you see in the projects or the way the projects are done in Ireland? Although it's been only 4 months since you've started working, do you see any changes in the way projects are executed in India compared to in Ireland?
Yeah, so the most of the projects in Ireland, like compared to those I have worked in my past experience in India, so often have a different requirements of the standards, different requirement of the construction practice and the workflows. Okay, so here the good thing about here is like the client who is having their projects, they are aware of the beam. Okay, they are aware of the what value addition beam can bring to their projects. Okay, so this is the main thing. If there is a client awareness, if there is also the government framework, like a mandate from the government side, that if your project is going up to the 100 million value or the cost of the project, you have to mandatory follow the beam regulations. Okay, so this type of frameworks and the standardization is very unique and different if I compare from the India. Okay, but the fundamental principles of the beam, that is the workflow process, beam implementation, remains the same. Okay, it doesn't change. Okay, also if I talk about like technology adoption, so here in Ireland people are like they are open to use the cutting edge technologies and the new tools and new software. But if I go for the Indian industry, like people are still reluctant. Okay, they are still like thinking whether to do that, whether it will be costing them a lot, or it will be saving time or saving the cost or not. So they are still in a consideration stage. So this is the one of the main difference which I've observed after coming to the Ireland. Yeah.
Did you find any challenges, because you had to adapt to a lot of different things, like it might be the way they work, the way they communicate, as simple as the units that they use for measurement, it's completely different. So did you find all that challenging?
Not exactly the challenging, but like there are some cultural differences. Like there is a distinct cultural differences on how the team collaborate and how they communicate. Okay, so here when I came here, they focus mostly on the teamwork. Okay, like there is a proper teamwork. There is a everyone is open for the communication. Okay, you have to express your idea. You have to express your the problems. If there is a problem, someone will give you the solution. So it's totally focus on the teamwork. Okay, so which aligns with like the collaborative approach of the beam. Okay, because whenever I see in the Indian market or the Indian industry, like there is a top down structure. Okay, the management side is deciding what you have to do. You are having a very less flexibility or the freedom to do the things, to do the innovation. So that is the main thing. Okay, you have to adapt to this cultural difference. Like you have to adapt the teamwork and the collaborative approach to do the work in the project. So this is followed in most of the European market as well, the same thing. And also, like if I talk about the beam professional, Ireland is having a very mature ecosystem where there are so many beam professionals. Also there are some communities like beam coordination or the beam there is a one of the organization which is summit. Okay, beam coordination summit. So they are also based in Ireland. So there are so many events here in Ireland which I am looking forward to attend and learn from the many beam professionals.
Right, right. So I've heard that networking becomes extremely important, especially when you are
Right.
in this profile, because there's a lot to learn from different kinds of people who are involved in, various projects. So I'm just curious about what are some of the challenges that you face while implementing BIM. So it can be, since BIM we consider it as relatively new to the industry, although it's been there in different countries for 10, 12 years, but relatively it's new when we talk about technology. So what
Yeah.
are the challenges that you face when implementing?
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges, if I talk only about the India, is about the the standards and the ISO code implementation. Okay, so in many of the projects which I worked in India, like they are not following any standards or any international guidelines of the BIM implementation. So this affects the value which BIM brings to your project. Okay, so to whenever I observe this type of problem, I myself started to reading some of the ISO standards. Okay, there are so many ISO standards apart, so you can just go through the ISO standards. You will learn a lot of new things, that how the beam communication should be taking place between all the stakeholders. What are the different terminologies of the beam which are followed in the beam industry market? So this helps in the standardization with a a proper or the better efficiency. Okay, so this is one of the big challenges which I faced in India market. Second is about the stakeholders involvement. So it's very very difficult to convince someone to use beam. Okay, so in India there are still like the projects are still running without using or utilizing the beam benefits. Like if you go to the project manager and tell them like if you use the beam, it will be useful for you, like it will add the value and it will eventually affect the cost and the time of the project, but it's very difficult, okay, to convince them. So what we used to do, like when we were part of the SEPT university, we used to do the academic projects and we used to work on the real life project. Okay, so like first of all, like they were reluctant to understand what exactly is the beam. So slowly we take started taking the information from the site. We started building the beam model. We started creating some of the like insightful simulation for them, so that they it can help them to understand first, like this is something which can help them. Okay, so I we also try to do some AR and VR stuff for them to having some important aspect of the beam industry. So this is how we used to produce some quality content for them, and used to convince them that all the stakeholders will be involved if you are implementing the beam. Okay, so other challenges, if I talk about in the beam market, is the software cost and the training. There is like a lot of problem whenever you want to learn a new software. Okay, the software cost is very high, so you have to be part of the organization to learn this software. So this problem will be there. So if you are like if you are aware of all the tools and the software, and you are working in some of the industry or the companies, then you can you can go to them, you can pitch the idea that I want to use this software which will add information and it will add the value to the companies or the project outputs. So this is how you can overcome these challenges. And lastly, if I talk about the skills, so India is still lagging behind in the skill guidance or the skill certification. Okay, so this type of problem can be addressed by like as per the Skillbind is doing this type of courses of the beam, and also for the other aspect of the civil engineering. So you can take up the relevant courses which can guide you to get a proper credential, which will be helping you to get a beam jobs in the market.
Awesome. So I remembered a very funny incident which happened with one of our students because we teach AR VR as well in our course, where we teach them how to create visualizations using Unity. So
Yeah.
one of our students actually made a very nice presentation, and they showed it to their manager and the CEO as well. And the first question that they asked was, how long will it take for this technology to come? How far
Right.
in the future will it take for them to come? So they're not even aware that such technologies exist, and how it is helping the construction industry transform. And eventually when they
Yeah.
explain the entire thing, the director just rejected the idea because it was too complicated for them to understand. So I
Right.
understand when you said that,
So it completely depends on the leadership skills. Like if the, the leader of the company who is having the, presence in the market or presence in the events, conferences, they will go there, they will learn this thing, and then they will start to implement and, make all the team members of the company aware of this, that how it can be helpful. So it's completely leadership skills on implementation. Yeah.
Right, right. Awesome. So I have, as you suggested, we have a list of myths or facts that are very common in the industry. So I am going to give you a statement. You can, tell me if it's a myth or